Good morning on this early Sunday morning. What's good with you? To the good energy people, please chime in. We are now about to discuss mastering financial literacy with my man Rasheed Chambers on D.A.P. Good morning. Good morning. Wake up, everybody. Get no more sleep in bed. Something like that. No more thinking ahead. The world is what it used to be. Good morning. Please do me the favor if you could. Share the page, like the page. Early morning wake up. Good morning, good morning. Peace and blessings to the good energy people. Blessings, blessings, good morning. Peace, what's good, what's good? Blessings, blessings, much love and respect. If you could do me the favor, please share the page, like the page. We're going to be talking about mastering financial literacy. My man Rasheed Chambers is here. What's up? Say what's up to the people, Rasheed.
What's going on, good people?
No doubt.
On this positive, happy Sunday morning.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful Sunday, I might add. Thank you for the share. Much love and respect. Peace and blessings. If you have any questions later on, we'll have a question and answer segment, and the number will be on the screen for you to call in to ask Rasheed some questions. First, I want to get out the way. The Supreme Sunshine Shea Butter is still popping as always, and make sure you go ahead and get your your fans. I have those fans. You don't want to be in a house and you're not popping. I got all colors: green, yellow, red, white, blue, black. All the colors you want. You got to have your boots on the ground and also have your fans in your hand when it's time to pop. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started real quick. I'm not going to wait no longer. Do me the favor, share the page, like the page, go over to YouTube and press subscribe on David Adams Podcast. Thank you so much. First, we want to get started with asking basic question to my man Rasheed, which is going to be, give me 1 minute. Because we know in our communities there is it's not like a really big thing with financial literacy. What does financial literacy mean to you?
So financial literacy is pretty much, it's everything. And it's not just to me, it's to our community in general, like you stated. Mm-hmm. We understand that as blacks in this country, you're considered to be the minority, but you're also the highest consuming people in the country. Your economic, come together is the 16th largest economy in the world.
Right.
It's kind of crazy. How are you the minority, but the most dependent, consumer in all of the country, which pretty much sets the tone for all of the world.
Makes sense.
So, financial literacy is important to all of us, not just myself. And if you really start to look at it in the wealth gap and the wealth disparities that we have in this country, you'll start to pay a little bit more attention and, figuring out what's going on with our financial literacy as well.
Makes sense. Well, why do you think financial literacy isn't really taught early in the beginning stages in school? How come it's not really taught in certain schools in our communities?
Well, if you want to create a society of free thinkers, you'll give them all the information that they need in order to be able to think freely. I think that it's designed that way specifically. A lot of people aren't going to learn about financial literacy because your role is already predefined for you. So it's already out there. You're going to be the consumer base. Why would I teach you financial literacy?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So,
yeah. All right. What's one financial mistake you made that taught you the biggest lesson ever?
One. All right, so I got to probably go because I've made many.
I think we all did, right?
Yeah, I've made a bunch of them. I think the worst financial mistake I've ever made is I was looking to purchase a property. It was a 3-unit at the time. I got a sweet deal off of it because I did a lot of research. Right. And I got a little intimidated by the deal. It was so sweet. I was on biggerpockets.com. I was doing everything that I need to be doing. I researched this property. I had the comps. I knew how much it was going to cash flow at the end of the day. And I had a conversation with a family member who didn't own property, who didn't know anything about real estate, who didn't do any research, didn't do any of the other stuff that came with it. Right. And their advice swayed me out of that deal.
Wow.
And I took bad financial advice. So the biggest mistake I ever did, I took financial advice from somebody who didn't have their finances together.
Deep. Big mistake. Okay. So why get
that one brought me to tears. I still think about that deal. About
it bothers you still, huh?
Man, I got a picture of that darn property in my house. Man, I look at it every day.
Wow.
Every day. I would have had an extra $400,000 by now. I got that property early. It was 2013.
Wow.
And the price mark, everything just went up.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Wow. Never make that mistake again, huh?
No. And I've made some healthy ones because of it. So, it was a lesson well learned. Those greatest lessons learned are those lessons learned from pain.
No doubt. Word. Well, how important is budgeting? How important is budgeting Really?
Man, I mean, all right, you're getting into it. The biggest and best thing you can actually do to start off any kind of financial literacy is understanding your finances.
Right.
So, like that's where you have to get the literacy. Having a budget is very important because most people don't budget. And most people do the whole, I know how to break down my paycheck in my head.
Right.
And what they do is they put their primary bills up there. So it's probably going to be rent, which is normally 60% of your earnings. You're going to put PSE&G. You're going to put a cell phone bill. You're going to put a car if you have one. And once you have your essentials there, you blow everything else.
Right.
No one thinks about the fact that they spend $300 on takeout. No one thinks about the fact that they have a $98 coffee habit, or a cigarette habit, or any of the other habits. The reason why a lot of people don't look into budgeting is because the accountability that goes with budgeting is tough.
$98 in coffee. Wow, that's like probably a month, maybe you're saying?
Yeah, probably a month. Think about that.
Maybe more,
some people do 2-3 cups a day, and it depends. Right. You could be bougie.
Right.
You can spend that in Starbucks in a week.
$6 coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's deep. Yeah, that makes sense. So, credit cards, friend or foe?
It depends. Again, it really just depends where you are in your journey when it comes to financial literacy. If you use a credit card as extended income, it's going to hurt you.
And a lot of people do that.
It's going to hurt you. Most people do.
That. Yeah.
It's going to hurt you.
Like,
but if you use it differently, maybe not so. Right. Here's the thing. Your credit factors, your credit scores are broken into 5 factors.
Right.
Your payment history is 35% of that. 35% of your credit score is going to be whether or not you can pay things on time, and it shows for up to 7 years. It can hurt you.
Right.
Then you have credit utilization. This is important with the credit cards because revolving credit is very important. So if you got $100 credit card and you spent $70 on it, your utilization is 70%.
Right.
They tell you keep it under 30. I'll tell you keep it under 20 so you can actually make some moves with your money. But that means if you got a $100 credit card, you never spend more than $20 on that credit card because you don't want to overextend your utilization. That's 30% of your credit score. 65% of your credit score is payment history and your overall utilization.
Right.
Then you have the length, how long you had credit.
Right.
So you need credit cards on your credit report at some point because revolving credit is what shows. It's the only way that you actually maintain a higher score.
Right.
So you're going to need a credit card, but do you need the things that you can buy with the credit card?
Right. Certain things you just don't need to buy with it. You don't need to go buy coffee every day with a credit card.
No. So if I was to use a credit card, I would probably use it to pay one of my bills so that I can show that I'm using the card enough. And it's an advance on my bills, so I have less strain on myself.
Got it.
So the due date is going to be on the 13th. I don't have to pay that until the 30th because I gave myself I used a credit card to pay it originally.
Right.
When my checks roll in, that's when I pay back the credit card.
Got it.
And if I'm smart, I get reward points off of that or cash back. So now my money is making money.
Right.
And that's the easiest way you can do to make money is to use your credit cards. There are ways that you can use your credit cards to pay your rent, et cetera, and so forth. And then you can just vacation hack every year with your family.
No doubt. How much should the average person have in their emergency fund?
Your emergency fund the rule of thumb is always you should have at least 3 months. In your emergency fund.
3 to 6 months.
Yeah, 3 to 6 months, especially with the way the economy going. If you're not an entrepreneur,
3 to 6 months of what? Rent, your regular expenses.
No, you should have all of your expenses, the things that you need in order for you to be able to maintain your quality of life. It can be whatever your quality of life. You can have a Benz, you can have whatever it is that you have. You should have 3 months saved up because if you have 3 months of just rent, then you're gonna lose your car, repo. Credit's tanking. You're going to, lose out on the way that you some people need a massage once a month so that they don't go postal.
Right.
It's your quality of living. Whatever your quality of living, you should have 3 to 6 months of that kind of income saved and reserved to the side so that you can maintain your lifestyle in case anything catastrophic happens.
Got it. What's a simple investment strategy for those who's watching as beginners and being trying to get down pat the financial literacy thing? What would be a simple investment strategy for the beginners?
Financial literacy course would definitely be your first. If you're just getting into it, you need to understand financial literacy. So a course would be good. And I would also focus on credit. Learning what your like I said, this might be new to people. There's 5 factors to your credit score. It's the amount that, your payment history, what's owed, your credit length, how long you've had credit, new credit, whether or not you're going for inquiries. And, you need to put those things into perspective.
Right.
In order for you to be able to, what am I doing? Credit mix is very important. Do you have an installment loan? What's an installment loan? You get a loan. Any student loan is an installment loan. A car is an installment loan. People think you have to make these big purchases. But if you got Navy Federal or DCU or something like that, you can literally just have a pledge loan.
Wow.
$500. It's your own money in your savings. It gives you one form of credit, and then you're going to have another form of credit by having a card, just a regular card that you pay into.
Right.
So
your own money.
An installment card.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, your own money. With your own money alone, that's 10% of your credit score.
No, okay. So credit or debit? Credit or debit?
When you have enough knowledge on how to use it. Debit when you don't. Debit is a good disciplinary tool for those who don't. Because if you don't have it, you can't spend it.
Got it.
Credit is you literally have it, so you can spend it, but it can negatively impact you if you don't do it right.
So how does one build a credit from scratch? Like, this guy may not have nothing, never had a car, never had a Macy's account, never had anything, and they don't have no credit. How do they start from scratch? Building from scratch.
Building from scratch is, honestly, you're in a better position than most people would think. Because people say no credit is worse than bad credit. Yeah, that's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true. No credit really means that you're not encumbered by any bad decisions previously. So
you don't have a report card.
That's it. So even though you might not have a score at the time, in order for you to get to a high score, you're going to be good. So what is good credit? I consider that to be 700 and above, right? So you have a total of 850 points for your credit. For your credit score. So if you really want to get it started, if you want to jump into the 700s within a month with no credit, go get yourself an installment card. It's a pay-as-you-go kind of card. Right. Anyone can get these. Any lending institution will offer it to you. You can qualify for it easily. Go through your bank. If you have a relationship with your bank, if you have a bank, you have a relationship with them.
Right.
And go get a card where you can only spend as you go. And then I would look for some kind of pledge loan or some kind of a loan through the bank where you're using your own money. So with $500, right, in your bank account, you can take 250 of that and make that a pledge loan.
Nice.
And then you'll have an installment credit, and you'll also have a revolving credit. That starts you off from the rip. You have no negative history, so that means you get the total amount of points. Because of that, as long as you don't do anything to mess up your credit, you're fine.
Right.
And because a lot of people will say that specific groups are born with 850 credit scores.
Right.
Nah, specific groups are born with parents to have enough financial literacy to help them out. So if you got a family member or something like that, and you have a good relationship with them, ask them to make you an authorized user on their credit card if they're responsible. So my aunt, let's just say my aunt, she's cool with me. She wants the best for me. We have a great rapport. So I'm gonna tell my aunt, hey, auntie, you got a credit card that has $1,000 on it. And she's like, yeah, but I don't even use it like that. Right. Here and there, I never spend more than $100 on it. So that means that her utilization is 10%. Right. So that's great. And she's had the card for maybe about 5 years. So now your credit age. We talked about that being one factor. Now that goes up on your end. And your utilization, the amount of credit you have access to, that goes up.
Right.
So with just one person co-signing on you, and that's what we do. That's what we talk about in the hood. That co-sign. Yeah. One person co-signing on you, it can affect 3 factors. That's it. I say this because I helped my nephew who is he just turned 20. And he has a 747 credit score.
Nice.
Because I made him, an authorized user on one of my larger cards. So I mean, not one of my larger cards. It's a $7,000 card,
right.
But I put him on there. He was able to benefit from all of my age on that card. The high amount that's on there.
Wow,
my utilization is always low.
Okay.
That card exists for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? To help out, family members or a client or something like that. So, when he turns around, everything's above board.
Nice.
That's the easiest way. Go find you somebody you can trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Makes
So,
sense.
and somebody that trusts you. And for my authorized users, make sure that the card comes directly to your house. Cut that bad boy up. Throw it in the trash. They don't need the physical card. They don't need access to the card.
Right.
Get the card. Most of the time, that information, like when you're an authorized user for Capital One, it comes directly to you. So if you're going to get that credit card, definitely grab it up, cut it up, let it benefit the person without them having a physical card.
Makes sense. Good information, man. Good information. Hey, does addresses have an effect on your credit score? The addresses you lived in the past?
No. All right. So the addresses, no. So does it have an effect on your credit? Possibly. So there's a difference between your score and your credit profile. Right. A lot of people are focused on their credit profile and credit score, and that doesn't say anything. So let me give you an example. If you got a 700 credit score, and I said that's when I start to consider you to have good credit, but you have derogatories from 5 years ago, let's say 6 years ago, because it can only be there for 7 years.
Right.
You're going to get denied from most credit card, like processors. They're just not going to mess with you.
Right.
So Chase isn't going to give you any credit. Hell, if you got an 850 credit score and 4 inquiries, Chase isn't giving you a credit card. Wow. So a lot of people don't understand it's more about your profile.
Got it.
So focus more on your profile than anything else.
Makes sense.
When it comes to your addresses, though, you want to make sure that the information is accurate. That's like the main thing. You want to make sure that the information is accurate. You don't want any addresses showing up there that's older than 10 years. You haven't been in that residence forever.
Makes sense. What's the biggest myth about credit? What's the biggest myth about credit scores, by the way?
It goes back to some people were born with an 850 credit score. People, I've heard that like, oh, well, like this community, they're born with good credit. Right. It's like no one's born with good credit. That's just an excuse for a lot of people to pretty much just wash away their bad habits when it comes to it.
Not take accountability.
It's just, it's definitely a big accountability thing. The biggest myth there is that you can pretty much, if you're not born with a silver spoon in your mouth, how else are you going to be able to leverage money?
Right.
Other people's money. That's how you do it. You make sure that you can get it. I can give you guys a play right now. If you go to Dover Credit Union right now, go to Dover Credit Union,
up,
DOVER. They're going to allow you to pre-qualify for a card. You can go for their platinum card, whatever card you want. They'll allow you to pre-qualify for it. It's a soft pull, all right? So this is a soft pull. So it's not going to create a credit inquiry. It's not going to hurt your credit. So they're going to approve you based off of your credit. If you have a 700, no derogatories, I'm telling you now, they're going to approve you for it. The thing is, they're going to give you $25,000 or higher. Having larger limits of credit is really what's going to be the biggest difference. What can I do with 25,000 bands? All right, well, I can start looking into the real estate market in Cleveland, right? Because the average house out there is going to be between $90,000 and $110,000. So with a DSCR loan, right? And this is open to anyone that wants to be an investment. I can put in $20,000 down without any other documentation. All I need is a good credit score. So with a 700 again, and let's just say $20,000 of that 25, I can take that money, go buy a property in something like Cleveland. You ain't gonna buy it in Jersey City, right? Go buy a property in Cleveland. I get this property in Cleveland, and the beautiful thing is, Cleveland has one of the highest markets for Section 8.
Wow.
Most Section 8 tenants stay there for about 7 years. All right, so if I make a cash flow on this of $500 every month, That's $6,000 every year. It takes me 3 years and a little bit of change in order for me to be able to get back that $20,000 that I spent.
Right.
I never used a dime of my own money. Not a dime of my own money.
Okay.
Do that 3 times, rinse and repeat.
Okay, so that's Dover. Say that one more time.
Dover Credit Union.
All right.
You can head over to Dover Credit Union. They're definitely gonna set you up. They're gonna let you know if you qualify. It's a soft pull and how much you qualify for. You know, there's a lot of other plays. Everybody know that Navy Federal's out there looking out for everybody. So definitely, if you know anybody with a Navy Federal, they can give you access to their access number. You can sign up with Navy Federal. Navy Federal will give you that kind of money on a regular basis. Like,
No doubt.
yeah, you can get like $80,000 on a credit card easy off of that. So,
Is it better to pay off debt aggressively or save while you're paying it off slowly?
all right. So if you pay it off aggressively, it has to have a reason. So if you're looking to go buy something, remember, I just gave you the play with the whole $25,000 and going to get a property somewhere else. That's fine, but your utilization is going to go through the roof.
Got it.
Right? And that's 30% in your score. So that can be up to 165 points, if I'm not mistaken,
Okay.
that you can potentially lose if you just going crazy. There's a strategy, like get yourself some business credit because that doesn't show up on your personal. And with business credit, you can go 100% on it. It doesn't negatively impact you.
Right.
But to your question, does it hurt to be aggressive? If you're aggressive, it has to have a purpose.
Right.
Right? If you know that you're going to make a big purchase or something like that, be aggressive. If you want to stack up your money, you know what I mean? Don't be so aggressive, but there has to be a threshold. Never let your credit or any like credit line that you have go above 50%. That's my rule. Don't let it. I'm saying that's the worst case scenario.
Right.
Don't let it go beyond 50%. You still want to keep it between 30 to 20. I say 20, but 30% of your credit utilization. You don't want any. If that means that if you got 4 cards with $1,000 on them a piece, you do not spend more than $300 on all of those cards. That means that you have to play with $1,200.
Got it.
That's it.
Got it. All right. Okay, now, how much credit card debt is too much?
How much credit card debt? Like I said, any credit card debt that's over 30% is too much.
That's too much over 30.
It's too much. If
you're
it's
doing
over
too much.
30%, it's just too much because that's when it starts to negatively impact you.
So if you got $1,000 credit card and you like 600 in,
There's 60% utilization on that credit card.
okay.
Would you give somebody, and I tell people, like, think like banks, but think like common sense, right? Because they have their own little things too. And we break down the plays on that easy. But would you lend somebody money if you know that 60% of, you know what I mean, like 60% of the money that they've had access to, they spent? Is that person a good investment?
Not at all. Not at all. Makes sense. How do you set real achievable financial goals?
First thing first, budget. Nothing's achievable unless you know what's there. So if you don't know pretty much everything that you have on the table, you're not going to make any financial kind of decisions that are going to benefit you whatsoever. A lot of us do not have budgets. So if you do not have a budget, you don't know where your money goes.
Right.
You might know where your money goes. Like, all right, well, cool. You might, know that it goes to a coffee shop here or a coffee shop, but you don't know how much.
Right.
So the best thing you're going to do, like your financial goals, if you want to create financial goals, you need to have a financial plan. A budget is the first step in that plan.
Makes sense. Financial goals and mindset. What do you say? The financial goals and mindset.
Mindset is crazy because mindset is going to put something in there that's going to allow you to be a little bit more realistic than how you spend money. You have to have a mindset. I have an actual course where I break down pretty much how you would go about leveraging credit in order for you to actually be able to move in this world the most efficient way, especially right now. This is a business owner's economy. Sorry, that's literally what it is right now. So mindset is everything. You have to have the mindset. We in our, because I'm speaking to our community, not to exclude anyone outside of it, but a lot of my financial literacy is pushed towards, black and brown folks, primarily black folk, and we have to get out of this instant gratification thing.
Yeah, microwave, huh?
Got to get out of it. That instant gratification is negatively impacting your family legacy, and everything else. And this competing against other people who are in financial straits. Why are we competing with people who don't have it either? Then that means that what we have to do is we have to show. In order to show, we have to buy things that show status but doesn't give status. Mindset is probably the most important thing.
Break that down.
In everything.
That show status, but don't really have the
show status. So if you know, and I'm not picking on nobody. Let me look. I'm not picking on nobody. Okay, yes, I want to be clear. But at the same time, if you have a BMW, right? If you have a BMW and you live in, public housing,
right?
You have a mindset issue, right? You know what I mean? I'm sorry, that is what it is. If you have expensive wardrobe, but you don't have a lease in your name, so that means that where you live, you don't have no control and no authority there. You live with someone or off someone. You have a failed mindset. That's it and that's all. Anytime you have a financial mindset is so it could be so deep rooted with a lot of people, is because we like to show that we have money, but we don't like to have money.
Right.
So we prioritize everyone else seeing that we have money instead of actually doing the hard work to have the actual money.
Got it.
That mindset is. We talk about, that's a whole show, bro.
That's a whole show on that alone.
That's a whole show.
Yeah, that's true, bro. So, what roles does mindset play in building your wealth, though?
You get rid of mindset. No one builds wealth without mindset. So if you don't have the right mindset, you're just never going to build wealth. That's it in its all. So it's 100% of the role, whatever the role is.
Right.
It is the greatest thing you can do is have a mindset that's going to tell you that I am goal focused and I'm not going to be distracted by, the things that really just don't align with what I'm trying to achieve.
Right.
If you could be that focused, I'm saying mindset in any area of life. Let's just take it out of financial. In any area in life, if you have the proper mindset brings discipline. Mindset brings accountability. Mindset is a constant reminder that you set something out, and then you need to achieve it. Mindset is the most important thing in life.
Deep,
period.
Deep. What's one money habit that changed your life?
One money habit that changed my life. It was the accountability habit. The first time I shared a bank account with a woman was my wife.
Wow.
And she really got a chance to, I'm sorry. My wife was nosy. I don't even think it was good intentions when she... Right. She was telling me things about my spending habits, but I swear early on in our relationship, just to give you a funny story, my father is he's kind of like that guy, right?
Right.
And one day we went, it was Valentine's Day, and we stopped by, there was a Hallmark card on Grant Street, the old Pathmark.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So there's I don't know if it's a teddy bear and roses. I buy 3 of them on my card. My father gives me the money, right? So my wife, she tells me, she's like, oh, Valentine's Day, you bought 3 items, all the same amount. And I'm like, yeah, I was with my dad. I threw my dad all under the bus. I was with my father. That's just the way he is. That's the way he serves them.
Right.
It is what it is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was at that moment, when she was pay attention to your spending habits.
Right.
And I really started to look at it. It was kind of the biggest thing that I've ever done. That starts your business, not your business, that starts your building a budget.
Right.
And paying attention to it. Every month, you have a bank statement, people. If you really want to sweat if you really want to test to see if you're an accountable person, go line for line to all the things that you spend in a month. Do it for 3 months in a row. It'll literally change your money habits. You don't even have to create a budget yet.
Right.
Do it on the 4th month. Just look at your bank statement.
Yeah.
Go through it and you just be like, you're gonna do that? Like, nah.
Damn, I spent $49 on potato chips.
Yeah, on potato chips straight. And it's the accumulation that's more of a problem, right? Because when you look at it, you're gonna realize that, all right, well, my haircut was essential, but yeah, this wasn't, or this wasn't, or this one. And it's not about the individual thing. You're gonna look and be like, I spent $400 on things that I didn't need.
I could have saved that.
Wow. I keep telling people I don't got it, or a lot of the times I see people, especially me being the way that I am, when people borrow money from me or ask to borrow money from me, I literally look at them and just be like, I know your habits. I know your habits. Like, I can look at it.
I can tell you're not going to be able to pay me back.
Well, it's not even just pay me back. So you're right, definitely. If you're going to lend somebody money, just give it to them. Right. So you don't have any animosity towards them, and they're going to duck you anyway. So it is what it is. I just personally believe you don't borrow money from people because they have a power over you. So just give it freely. And if you can't give it freely, don't give it at all because you never had it to give it. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But just in general, if you know that you got a boy that spends, like, I got pothead friends, man. I love them. Right. There's nothing wrong with them. Right. Great and deep conversation when we can have that. But I know that they spend $60 a week on that. Right. So I times that by 4 because it's 4 weeks a month. All right, my boy, you spend $240 every month. Every month. Okay, so don't tell me you're broke. Right. Don't tell me you ain't got it. Like, you have it. You prioritize what you prioritize. Bottom line.
Anybody want to call in, they can call in. After I finish with the questions, I will have the number on the screen. You can call in. If you got any questions, feel free to ask my man Rasheed. Should everyone have a side hustle?
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know what you're good at, but if you're good at it, try to get paid for it. Yep. Multiple streams of income is pretty much life's blood. Here's the whole thing. No one can survive off of one stream of income anymore.
Facts. I believe that 100%.
No one can survive off of that anymore. Yeah, so I don't care what it is. Get yourself a podcast. Get yourself a t-shirt company. Get whatever it is. If the pandemic taught us anything, it was people taking a risk on themselves. You had that small window where a lot of people were collecting unemployment because no one could work, or whatever severance your job package had, and you had the time to figure it out. Right. You know why we have a teacher shortage right now?
Why is that?
Because of the pandemic. Yeah. They was doing side things. Right. They was doing things on the side. They was hustling and it replaced their income. Right. For one, teacher should be paid a lot more. It shouldn't have been so easy for them to replace their income, but they was able to. Yeah. So what are you gonna do? Your side hustle start making 70 and your actual job is making 50, but it has 90% of your time.
Deep. Yeah, I've known some teachers that actually started candle companies and all types of stuff, man.
Soaps, lotions. I mean, some of them hit the pole too during the pandemic. It happened, man. Yeah. But they found a side hustle.
Yep, made it happen. Facts. Yeah. Anybody want to call in? You can call in. So, borrowing money. What do you say to borrowing money, and how should one go? How should one, what steps they should take? There's different ways of borrowing money. How should one borrow money, and where should they borrow money from?
All right, so never borrow money without intent. Right. So that means if you're going to borrow money, it has to be for something, right? So what is it going to be? An asset or liability, right? So some people will say, all right, well, I borrowed money for my wedding. It's your wedding. That's fine. It's one day. That wedding isn't going to make you more money unless you're marrying into money. So, just put that to thought. If you're going to borrow money to go buy a car, well, what happens when you take the car off the lot? 30% of its value goes where? Down, right? So it doesn't even have a resale value until like 3 years of you having a car with all the wear and tear that comes with that. So again, liability. asset though. If you're going to borrow money to purchase a property, all right, well, buy, you know what I mean? Like to get a mortgage, go buy a house.
Right.
Why? Because when you're done paying off that house, your kids get that house and all the equity that's left in that house. It's an asset. So you have to be intentional about how you actually go about it. Now, if you're just talking about money for a startup or something like that, the way that I move money is a little bit different. It's 100% legal. I learned the hustle. And the hustle pretty much is get yourself an aged LLC. You can buy those nowadays.
Yep.
You can buy an aged LLC. Any business that's over 2 years old. Get yourself a 2-year-old business. And then go for lines of credit, which you can get approved online. Right? With no documentation, no docs at all. A part of what I do is I own Finlit. It's a financial literacy enterprise.
Okay, tell me about it.
And Finlit, what we do is we help entrepreneurs get access to capital.
Got it.
You know, in general, or people just in general to build up their credit and stuff like that. It's not a main focus, but we do have it. And the first thing I tell any of my mentees, you know, is like, yo, you have a 2-year-old business, you have a decent credit score, we're going to go after lines of credit. What's lines of credit? All right, well, let's go for an American Express card. All right, you can get up to $25,000 for that. Or US Bank, we can get up to $25,000 of that. I have personal relationships. The best cards you want to go after are going to be the Unlimited by Chase and the Premier by Chase. They're going to give you between, you know, $10,000 and $50,000.
Got it.
All right, so you got that money. Now you have startup funds. That means that nothing has to come out of your own pocket.
Right.
All right, and then when you start developing things and borrowing money, as a business, it goes underneath your business's EIN.
Right.
So that means that my debt to income ratio over here on my personal, I'm good.
Good.
I don't have to do any of that stuff.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get more business credit. I'm going to start doing things and buying things as an entity. You can go to Bank of America right now and go get approved for a business loan, and that'll be able to, for you to be able to purchase a card specifically, right?
For the business.
Go to Starlight.com right now, or I'm sorry, go to Lightstream specifically. Lightstream will give you up to $45,000 if you have a business that's older than 2 years, if the income that you report meets their criteria and you have a 700 credit score. So that means that BMW did want, you don't buy, your business buys.
So you had to have personally the credit score of 700.
Personal guarantee is the best way for you to actually be able to get money. So if you don't come from money, you have to back money. You can do it with assets, or you can do it with personal guarantee. The reason why I say personal guarantee is because no one has assets from the rip in your business. Right. Unless you can show documentation like my business makes $250,000 a year. I can give you bank statements and all that. You can go for a lot more money than that. And it still only reports in your business's name. Your debt to income ratio doesn't affect you. So you can go buy a bigger property and do what you have to do. That's not an issue. You can go buy the car. You can pay for the college tuition and all the other things because you have access to doing it.
Nice. Okay. So if somebody is trying to get a loan and they come to you and it's not a traditional loan, is it more of a, what type of loan is it if it comes to you?
Yeah, we're looking for like a business loan. Yeah, the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to have a decent credit score. You have to have a 700. You have to have no derogatories on there, right? So that means like no missed payments or whatsoever. So if you don't have those, and you got to fix those and get those off. People think that everything on your credit is there, and it's not. It's not there to stay. You can always have that stuff removed. Even if you own the debt, you can have it removed mainly because of the way that it was reported. Right. There's, like compliant Metro 2, look that up. Right. Metro 2 compliance means that it's how they're supposed to put your stuff, consumer law, and all that other stuff. If you were to come to me, first thing I'm going to say is, do you have a 700 credit score? Do you have any derogatories? And what does your credit utilization look like? You tell me, like, all right, these things are all good. All right, not a problem. Let's go for $250,000 of business credit. Nice. Easy. Like that's US Bank, that's anyone. I know the data points with all these specific lenders. So if we're going to go for this. Maybe it's 50,000. Maybe it's a rollout. It's 50,000 from this one, 50,000 from this one. But by the end of the month, you're going to have, like 250,000. The reason why we stop there is because we're going to get increase.
Right.
But what I tell people is understand about the beauty of increase. Chase only pulls from Experian. U.S. Bank pulls from TransUnion.
Got it.
Right? Let's just say Truist. They pull from Equifax. 3 banks, 1 inquiry per. That doesn't negatively impact your credit whatsoever. You have 3 inquiries, but spread across 3 different bureaus.
Wow. Okay.
So you should not have more than 4 in any one bureau. 4 times 3, that's 12 lines of credit.
Wow. Nice.
And it's only there for 2 years.
Okay.
So every 2 years you go back to the well and you do it all over again.
How long you been in the business of helping people, get loans?
So this has been Finlit is a new company of mine. I'm a serial entrepreneur. You know that, brother.
Yeah.
I focus mainly in the IT space.
Right.
By trade and information security specialist. So it's all right, well, cool. I did that and created E-Code Learning Center where we teach kids STEM and stuff like that.
Right.
NJ Web Studios, we do graphic design and build websites and mobile apps. And then it's financial literacy. A lot of the people in my community I would love to work with, they don't have the capital of working with me.
Right.
I've been an entrepreneur for some time. I have a standard of, expertise.
Right.
So in order for, you got to pay me in order for me to be able to do something, that's going to completely change the way that your business is going.
Right.
What's the best way of doing that is ensuring people have the funds for it.
Right.
So it's me working more towards a mentorship. My goal is to have 100 people in Hudson County, and get them all funded so that we can build a community that we can grow on. So financial literacy is extremely important. So that's where that comes from.
No doubt.
But getting people loans to your question, it's been a year.
Okay, cool. So now, is there a a big interest that they have, that comes with borrowing money from your company? Is it different from the average of other banks and things like that, or is it basically the same?
Well, we're loan brokers. So it's a little bit different. It's not literally money coming directly from Finlit. We're loan brokers. So what we do is we get them access to those banks. If you go to Chase and you ask them for a line of credit, Chase is going to look at a certain amount of factors. We know what all those factors are, but we know that you haven't built a rapport with the branch manager and the regional manager.
Right.
I'm taking them to lunch.
Gotcha.
I'm speaking to them. I know exactly how, what I need to do in order for me to be able to get you the largest amount of money from this bank.
Right.
And what I do is I collect a commission off of that.
Got it.
So I get you, where you would normally get 10, I'm making sure that you're going to get 50.
Got it. Oh, okay. But the interest will be higher for them. No, it will be about the same.
Your credit is still your credit. And to be honest, the interest is lower if your credit is higher. So you cannot get business lines of credit with anything less than 700. You can probably do it with a 680 and some docs. So that's not a problem. But if your credit is 700 and above, we work with people to get their credit profile right. How do I get you the most amount of money, with the lowest interest? The interest that I go after is 0% interest for a year.
Got it.
To 16 months.
Okay.
So no interest. That's the goal, to have it for a year with no interest. And then a year later, you just transfer that debt to another 0% interest, loan.
Nice.
So you use one to pay off the other, and now it's 0 again.
Got it.
They know this. By they, I'm talking about, the people, the captains of industry, the people that we just say are all swindlers and stuff like that. The financial intelligence, they know this already.
Right.
They know that this is just a game and they work the game. I'm not saying anything that's going to get me incarcerated.
Right.
I'm not saying anything that's going to get me locked up right now. Everything I'm saying is right now, we transfer debt over to better debt. That's what we do. We transfer that over. So I have a 0% interest on this line of credit right now. I got $50,000. Month 9 is here. I know I got 3 months. All right, well, not a problem. I go for another, line of credit, and it can cover what I spent on the other one.
Wow.
Pay that off, and I start at 0% interest for another 12 months.
Interesting.
So I'm just going to keep doing this and stuff. The rich don't pay taxes. The rich don't pay interest. The rich don't do it like that because their mindset is shifted. If these institutions are built like this, then why not? So Chase has a beef with Bank of America. Why shouldn't they fight over me? Why shouldn't they fight over me? I'm awesome. You guys should fight over me. And I'm gonna make y'all fight over me.
No doubt. That's what's up. That's what's up. Any questions from my man Rasheed on this financial literacy? You got any questions? You're trying to start something, you're trying to do something, you want to get on the road to financial literacy and financial freedom and all that good stuff, you can do me the favor and call in 973-433-5666. You can do that right now. Call in 973-433-5666. Call in. All right, waiting for your call. All right. You got anything going on now other than the financial or the loan thing that the company you just started a year ago? Anything else you got going on?
Like I said, I stay busy.
Yeah.
So, so we're going into our summer learning program with everything with eCode. I'm very, very happy about that. We're across 5 cities now. So we've been just pushing that out a lot. So I'm very proud of that work. We starting an internship program as well. So we'll be looking to hire Jersey City youth in those fields as well as assistants, game coaches, etc. So I'm very, very happy with that work. And just the family stuff for the most part. My daughter is, a collegiate runner right now.
Nice.
Straight A student.
Nice.
Loving all that. My girls are literally with my wife right now. They're in the Trenton area at a dance competition.
Nice.
And my son is probably playing video games.
That's what's up.
So, you know me, I always prioritize the family. So it's like anything that allows me to be able to maintain that, that's just my blessing, man.
That's everything. That's
my blessing.
Let's see what the chat said. Chat says, Musa says, good life. Good life. Musa also said, over 20 years ago, I created a spreadsheet to see my spending habits. Immediately, I began to save money because I seen where I didn't need to purchase something. Exactly. Yep. Musa also said, good life, family. Much love to you, bro. Thanks for chiming in. Appreciate you, Musa. Don't forget to share. Denise says, don't forget to share what you are doing in Roselle for our senior and young people.
Yeah.
Speak on that.
All right. So thank you for putting me on blast, Denise. I get a little bit nervous on those things. Like I said, I'm very happy she said that. So yes, every Saturday, I teach seniors how to leverage artificial intelligence.
Wow.
So I'm teaching them ChatGPT,
Nice.
Otter AI,
Nice.
things that are going to make their lives a lot easier, voice commands and things like that. We do close the gap. I had an amazing class yesterday. I love working with my seniors, man. I mean, they're so inquisitive and they're so direct.
Straight up.
So it's good. Shout out to Roselle Memorial Library,
Nice.
Denise Wilkerson, Georgette, and the amazing staff that's over there that has eCode going over there on a regular basis. We also have about 23 kids that are learning web design as well. And as a part of our project, they're going to be building out websites for all of the local entrepreneurs that don't have one in the Roselle Borough. When I mean that community comes together, that community from the mayor to the council people, I've been such a warm welcome. I went to their like Borough Town Hall. And I was invited, and I have never seen outside of Atlanta, where like my mentors are, outside of Atlanta, I have never seen that much cohesion of Black and brown folk, coming together to build community. And then the stuff that they do is so impressive. Their current administration is just wow.
That's what's
wow, man.
Shout out to Denise, man.
Wow, baby Mecca over there.
No doubt.
Baby Mecca, baby Black Mecca.
That's what's up. Blessings to Roselle. Call in now, 973-433-5666. You can go ahead and call in if you have any questions for my man, Rasheed Chambers. Feel free to call in.
Can I plug my course, brother?
You can plug your course, brother. You can do what you like on here, brother.
All right,
you can
so
do that.
a lot of people that want to like get your foot into some kind of financial literacy, I do have a course that's out there. It's $47. It's pretty much going to show you how to hack credit.
Nice.
Just basically, if I can give you a tidbit just real quick. If you have an issue with your credit age, I want you to go to Rent Reporters, right? Remember, credit age is 15% of your credit. Go to Rent Reporters. Go to Rent Reporters, right? And on Rent Reporters, what you're going to do is you're going to claim where you lived since you were 18 years old. Now, if you're 20, that does nothing for you. If you're 30, that's 12 years of history, positive history that's going to show up on your credit report. It extends your, it extends pretty much your credit length. That's 15% of your credit. So even if you have derogatories and stuff like that, it's one of the first things I do to help people to do what they need to do in order to increase their credit score. Another thing that you want to do is seek out somebody that you trust who has good money habits and ask them to be an authorized user. That covers 3 of the other points: credit age, utilization, and the positive history. That will ultimately, like, you can have a friend if they really love you and you love them and stuff like that, man. The best thing you can do for your friend is to bring them up by, extending that to them.
Nice.
So even if you're the authorized user, talk to your people. Like, yo, like, not for nothing, you got to get on this. You got to get on this train, bro, because when I tell you there's so much money out here and there's rules to who has access to it. So you have to do everything that you need to do in order to get access to this money. My credit course is out there. Like I said, it's $47. Definitely go out there, take the credit course. It's going to give you a free ebook that's going to give you a step-by-step play on everything that you should do in order to increase your score. A video series course that lets you know everything about your score. But also, if you are looking for business credit and stuff like that, it's going to tell you how to properly structure your business in order for you to be able to get as much money as possible to kick off. And we also have I got a spreadsheet up there, brother. It's a very good one, too. It's an accountability budget.
Wow.
And it's a year budget.
Wow.
It's going to let you know exactly what it is that you're spending.
Got you. Nice.
So, yeah, $47. Go get it.
$47, you can't beat that, man. You might as well give him 50. You know what I mean? Go ahead and round it off, you know?
Round it off. Get it out there, man. Yeah. You take that course. Like I said, anyone that takes the course, you finish the course. If you don't feel satisfied, I'll definitely give you your money back.
No doubt.
That's not an issue. You'll feel satisfied immediately because I know that you'll be able to action on it. A lot of what goes on out here is people they're just trying to upsell you. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to upsell you too. Right. But I want you to be able to take enough of my product to where I don't, that can be enough for you to start your journey. Right. Come see me down the road sometime. You know what I mean?
That's a blessing. Anybody got any questions, you can put it on the comment board right now. You have any statements, you can put it on the comment board. If you want to call in, go ahead and call in 973-433-5666 and speak to Rasheed. If not, we're going to go ahead and move on and call it a day. But I appreciate you, Rasheed, for coming and showing your expertise on D.A.P. I thank you so much for accepting, the welcome or the invite here. I appreciate that, man.
Apologies for not being here last week, good people.
No doubt.
We got our wires crossed. Yeah. I got my wires crossed.
Not we, he.
Yeah, I got my wires crossed.
No doubt.
As always, I just wanted to say, this is our community show, right? So if it's not me being on here, it's, someone like Bill O'Day or McGreevy or any of the other campaign people. Right. I don't think that you guys understand fully how much of a wealth this man brings. Just in general, to not only just our community, but the culture in general. I appreciate it. Like D.A.P is where it is. This is where you really want to come if you want to get a message out to the people by somebody who's a man of the people. So,
appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Much love. Once again, my man, Rasheed Chambers, y'all. Much love and respect. No doubt. Right here on D.A.P. D.A.P. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share the page, and make sure you go back to what Rasheed was saying, to those websites and all that good stuff, and to his program. Go check it out. Peace and blessings.